Hi, everyone. Lisa Haven here. Well, Joe Biden and his sidekick, Anthony Fauci, are in really big trouble. In fact, the White House is under siege. And what I mean by that is Biden and his administration are now having to deal with crisis after crisis after crisis. In fact, there's 5 major crises hitting the Biden administration right now. Everything from the job gains that are downright pathetic and a breaking economy to second, the Colonial Pipeline that has been turned off and the gas crisis up there in the eastern part of the United States. The third thing, the border crisis, which we have been dealing with for a while. And of course, the Middle East is breaking out again there in Gaza between Palestine and Israel. And number 5, his main man, Anthony Fauci, is under intense scrutiny by Rand Paul, members of Congress, the GOP, and even Tucker Carlson. Now, actually, I have been talking about all the stuff that is now surfacing about Anthony Fauci. I've been talking about this for some time on restrictedrepublic.com. You gotta get there. And right now, I have an amazing special of $20 off an entire year. The entire first year you can get for $20 off. Use the code 20 and the word off. Use the number 20 and the word off to get that discount. But basically, everything that is coming out now about Anthony Fauci, Wuhan, and all of that, I talked about over a year ago. So get the news that you're not getting on the mainstream media by signing up at restrictedrepublic.com, and it automatically comes with a 14-day trial. We don't hold you to any contract, so you can cancel whenever you want, but support what we do. And in fact, I've got a huge video coming out today on Restricted Republic. It's exclusive to Restricted, but you're going to want to get there and check it out. I'll be posting it later today. So sign up on restrictedrepublic.com. I can't even tell you what it's about because it's here on YouTube. All right, so let's get into what's going on with the Biden administration. Here we are on Fox News, and I love how they titled this. Battered Biden is under siege as crisis confound the White House. A remarkable 5 days of bad developments stretching from Israel to the Mexican border up the East Coast via the Colonial Pipeline. So the Biden administration is getting hit with crisis after crisis. And may I suggest that a lot of these are because of his freaking policies, right? So this is what happens when we put socialists in charge. These kinds of things are now happening in the US. Let's start with the first bad thing. Number 1, jobs gained were only 266,000 jobs when the Democrats were talking about it being so much better. And here it is, foxnews.com. April jobs report disappoint. What happened and how did economists get it so wrong? The forecast actually predicted the economy would add somewhere between 1 million jobs last month, but somehow it fell way below that. The article goes on. The Labor Department reported Friday morning that employers only added a measly 266,000 jobs last month, and the unemployment rate unexpectedly inched up 6.1%, confounding the rosy picture of the American labor market. But of course, when you offer people more money to stay home than get a job, Joe Biden and his administration, that's what happens. If people can make more money sitting at home doing nothing, they're going to do that. That's why socialism doesn't work. Are we waking up some socialists here or not? I mean, there's all these job fairs taking place and there's millions of jobs available, but people aren't going. Why? Because the Democrats are paying them to stay home, thereby causing massive wait times at businesses, at restaurants, at pretty much any retail industry, if you will, or any industry altogether, because there are gaps. And now we have more breaks in the supply chain because Biden's literally paying people to stay home. Boom. Crisis number 1 inflicted by the Democrats themselves. Crisis number 2. Here we have gas shortages. This is on thedailypost.com, but gas stations in the Southeast run out of gas as people panic and buy fuel. Then we also have MSN. More than 28% of all gas stations in North Carolina are without fuel this morning as drivers flock to the pump. Then we have another one here, WSOC TV. More than 70% of Charlotte gas stations are reportedly out of fuel. Then we have LA Times, a 5-hour line. People are waiting for gas for 5 hours. And it surges after the pipeline hack, right? Then we also have foxbusiness.com, the Colonial Pipeline gas shortage widens. State by state breakdown. And this article actually shows you how they're all going through this crisis in multiple states. But we know the hackers took out, or the cyber attack took out the pipeline there. And we have this crisis now at the feet of Biden's administration. And this comes on the heels of already increased prices on gas. Why did gas go up? Gas went up the second that Biden got in because under Democrats, their plans always make everything increase, especially gas. And now we have a pipeline adding more crisis to an already hurting economy. So what does Biden do? Well, he issues a little, fact sheet. You see, here it is, whitehouse.gov. The Biden-Harris administration has launched an all-out government effort to address the Colonial Pipeline incident. And they just published this very recently, 6 p.m. As of May 11th. But you can see some of the stuff that they're going to do here, and you could pause it. I don't want to get too much into this. But he's saying we're going to do what we can to fix this crisis number 2. All right, moving on. Crisis number 3. The Middle East is breaking out. And I also attribute this to the Biden administration, who has basically, really laxed things. And this is why suddenly when you get a new president, we all of a sudden have hell breaking out in certain areas because of what Biden stands for. Here it is. Wall Street Journal. Hamas attack on Israel aims to capitalize on Palestinian frustration. Then we have USA Today. Israel and Hamas escalate heavy fighting. With no end in sight, at least 48 Palestinians and 6 Israelis have been killed. And of course, like I said, I think Biden should face criticism for this crisis because I agree with what this article is detailing. But FoxNews.com, Biden faces criticism from both Democrats and Republicans over escalating Israeli-Palestinian violence, right? They're all upset. Why? Well, take a look at some of their responses down here in the article. And here's what it says. Senator Bill demanded that the Biden administration start to strongly condemn Hamas and Palestinian terror group that launched rockets at Jerusalem as the city was celebrating Jerusalem Day on Monday. The Biden administration should strongly condemn Hamas and other terrorists that are exploiting tensions in Jerusalem to carry out rocket attacks against innocent civilians, he tweeted. The U.S. should unequivocally support Israel's right to defend its citizens. And of course, we have different views from people, but the bottom line is Biden administration is just kind of taking that back seat like they always do, and thereby chaos in the Middle East prevails. Now let's move on to crisis number 4. How about the border crisis here at home in our good old-fashioned United States of America, also edged on by Democrats, because Biden campaigned on the fact that anybody and everybody can enter whenever they wanted, however they wanted, and we'll give you free stuff. So they took him up on that offer. So here we have this. WashingtonExaminer.com, crisis worsens, the border crisis. 178,622 attempted to cross the U.S. Mexico border illegally just in the month of April. That is the most in 2 decades. You see this crisis that Biden has on his hands, and that's not all. Because we also have a crisis in the foster care system because of that, right? Here we have FoxNews.com, U.S. foster care system already stretching to the max as unaccompanied minors continue to cross the southern border. We don't have enough room in our foster care system for that many illegal immigrants, right? It's all breaking down. Joe Biden's in trouble, but it's not just Joe Biden, right? How about number 5? The 5th crisis is his main man, his right-hand buddy, Anthony Fauci is in big trouble. Now, I really can only scratch the surface on this one because it is YouTube. That's why you need to get to Restricted Republic, but I digress. Let's go on over to this article here. FoxNews.com, Rand Paul. Dr. Fauci lied to Congress about the Wuhan lab research funding. But don't worry, Fauci denies that U.S.-funded gain-of-function research in China. Get to Restricted Republic for more information on that. We've got a ton. But here, Anthony Fauci is being accused of something by Rand Paul. And of course, he denies it. We also have this. Tucker Carlson actually did an amazing report on Fox News. Anthony Fauci let the COVID pandemic happen. Why isn't there a criminal investigation? Good question. Good question, Tucker. Fauci exploited a loophole that allowed him to fund research at the lab that likely became, there you have it. People are starting to question. And because of all these questions surrounding Anthony Fauci, right? Now this is also happening. FoxNews.com, Republicans propose a bill to fire Fauci. Amen. Amid growing discontent with top Biden medical officials. Let's go on to what the report says. It says the bill would impose a retroactive 12-year term limit on the director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. Fauci's original post, top scientist, has held the job since 1984. So if the bill were to be signed into law, he would be forced out of his job because he done passed that 12-year term limit. I'm all for that. But unfortunately, I don't see this necessarily passing because, Biden can veto it, even if it did go through. But who knows? I think there should be a term limit. And Fauci needs to get out of that position. At least a lot of GOP members think that now. Republicans, Tucker Carlson, and people are starting to wake up to things that I have already been talking about on Restricted Republic for a very long time. Anyhow, please don't forget to check out my partner, noblegoldinvestments.com. Right now, they are giving away with any approved Roth IRA or 401k this American Eagle gold coin, and you can see it here on the screen. This thing is awesome, and I absolutely love it. But right now, it's being given away with any approved IRA. But the bottom line is, with all the tangents and crazy stuff happening with the economy, please make sure you are stable today and don't wait another day, because now is the time to make sure that your profile is diversified or backed by something other than the dollar. So give him a call today and let him know that you heard it on Lisa Haven. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.